Welcome to the Top 5. This is a podcast where a group of friends discuss our top 5 favorites and different topics, including movies, television, video games, and comic books. Hope you enjoy the show. Hey all, this is Top 5, and today our topic is Walking Dead characters. We're doing AMC only, no comic book stuff. All right. Yeah. We got 4 of us today. I am your moderator, Frank, and we got Squeaks.
All right, guys.
Jonathan.
Hey.
And Daniel.
What's up, guys?
All right, that's the crew. Just real quick, I know we did this during the news, but I want to bring it up again. Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes, is leaving the show after season 9, which is next season as we're recording this. And we're going to have Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl. He's going to be the new main character. So that'll be interesting.
I was actually watching something too. They were saying that somebody else might be leaving too.
Yeah. I wonder, did they say who?
They didn't say who, but they were saying that somebody might leave soon too.
It's like pruning the roses. I think if you're gonna get rid of Rick, you're gonna almost want to reboot the show.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to kill half that cast.
You have to really change your storyline a lot, I think,
or just kill the show.
To redevelop.
Well, they have to change the show.
I think they need to like.
I don't think they should kill everybody because.
Oh no, they all need to die. I'm ready for them to die.
Well, I mean, I think we've seen enough of. I really like Michonne, but they need to do something more with her or get rid of her.
Yeah, should have got off the pot. You got to develop her character more, or just
oops.
They went hardcore, and then it's slowing down.
I think Maggie's had I think they could complete her arc, and it'll be a really good arc if they can just finish her off. Mm-hmm. Carol, as much as I love her, is too wishy-washy right now. She can go.
Oh, you know, it'd be really good. I never thought about this before. I really like Carol, but you could develop her into a villain if they wanted to. What if they had a villain?
She just straight up lost it or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, she's so good.
Maybe that's how Rick dies. I don't know. You know, maybe Rick dies because somebody within the group turns on them. Turns on
Morgan left, but he'd be the best one to do it because he is officially crazy in the new season, in the newest episodes.
Yeah.
They could also,
he's seeing his dead people.
This is kind of like a twist, but they could you know how Rick woke up in the coma in his first season? He technically never.
It was all a dream?
Yeah.
Slap in the face.
Oh my god.
And then they bring back a different guy to play his son, and his son actually just took over.
That'd be so nice if they could just return to the story.
No, it'd make me cry if they actually, instead of trying to pretend none of this happened, he wakes up and it's a normal day. And
exactly.
He was healthy. He came out of the hospital and he goes home to his family and all that stuff. And that's actually, he just died. He just joined his family. But it's as if he never.
That is a good twist, man.
Right? His death is actually the heaven that he had hoped he'd wake up to after the coma.
To explain how much storyline there is to go, real quick, I just want to kind of give perspective because people are like, oh, well, the show's got to be done pretty soon. So right now, comic book wise, to show you where the show's at. Robert Kirkman, he's the maker of the comic book and another comic book I believe I'm currently reading. He plans on this being a 300-issue story, all of Walking Dead. Comic-wise, they're at issue 180, and show-wise, they're about issue 100.
Wow. I hope it doesn't last that long.
So that shows you how much more. And they just introduced a new colony in the books. It looks insane. They wear all white with red stripes and shit. That's cool. Real futuristic.
Never mind.
No, the Whispers is that's coming up pretty soon, and the show has to pretty soon after Negan's completion. But that's gonna be pretty cool too.
Now, if we go back to where Rick wakes up, just crazy scene. What if he wakes up, goes home, has a cup of coffee, everything's fine, and you think what the fuck? But then you see a zombie walking down the street and it starts it all, and then he just cuts, and we're done with the series. You know.
Or what if it fades out? Okay, so how about
instead of this? Because
what Jonathan's saying is, what if he's dead and this is his heaven? Yeah. What about instead of that, it closes? So we just see Rick drinking his coffee, and then it closes in on his face. Then it closes back out on his face, and we see zombies are eating his guts.
Yeah, there you go. So to him, it seems like all of that was a dream.
Yeah,
he went to the coma, but when he woke up, that was all a dream. Now that he's dead, he's back to where he thinks he should be. But then we see that he actually died and being eaten.
All right, AMC, I know you listen to all our episodes or all our shows, so you guys are welcome
to
take
that one at a modest fee of $8 million. So
we're just a shout out on Twitter.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll take a Twitter shout out. All right, so let's go ahead and fire this off. We will start with Daniel. Daniel, you're our number 1. Go ahead and give us your number 5 for favorites or top Walking Dead character.
My number 5 is Carol.
All right.
I picked her because she's one of the strongest emotional characters in the show. Like, she dealt with so much throughout the show. Like, she was abuse victim. Like, her husband beat her.
Yeah.
Then her daughter goes and dies. Well, it doesn't go and die. She ends up getting
Up
killed.
and died.
Yeah. So she's already dealing with all that.
Yeah.
And she's still strong enough to keep going, keep taking care of the group while she's doing that.
Yeah.
And then later on in the season, remember those two little girls? One of them ended up, and she,
Yeah.
she ended up taking, like, she knew she had to.
And she
Their
didn't
names
snap.
were Lizzie and Mika.
Yeah.
I have that written down for some reason.
In the same situations, we're seeing people over and over again snap. They just lose it. They can't control. They can't handle
and
that mental
she was
stress,
actually
but
just like
she's strong.
she's just strong enough that she was able to take it. Like Rick, he snapped because his wife died.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her. Like, her daughter died. She was kind of like emotional for a little bit, but she still knew, like, look, I need to make sure I do my job, make sure everybody's okay.
And hers was a rapid and drastic transformation.
Yeah,
she
it
didn't
was.
start as a badass survivalist,
No.
like nothing. She started
She
as
was
a
weak.
abused housewife,
Yeah.
mother of a daughter.
Yeah.
That was all she knew. She just served her husband.
She's like shuttering clothes more and more. She's like adding layers of the onion onto herself as like protection.
Yeah.
Because every time something bad happens, she's just like, emotions will die. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
She's like she's becoming more robotic.
More
Until like the
logical.
last season things
Well,
changed a
then
little
she
bit.
started getting more emotional with Daryl. Technically, like,
Yeah.
They got closer,
they
but
have-
that ended pretty quick.
That
And
ended?
that's-
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
I know Daryl was like having a thing with the little girl, or no? That girl?
Yeah, Bethany? Is that
Beth or Bethany or something like
shit?
that. It's
She-
Maggie's sister, little
she's
sister.
gone now,
She's
too,
gone,
so.
yeah.
But
Well, I think there was a lot of trying to make that character important all of a sudden so they can kill her off.
Yeah.
That's how they'll raise her up so they can kill her real quick.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason why I picked Carol.
Was it a good choice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in because that was my top. That was my number 5 too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Because with the abuse thing, I feel like we actually seen a character that was like straight from the very dirt bottom
Yeah.
of being hella weak, and now she's hella strong.
Yeah.
And, like,
Subjugated and everything like that.
and
Now
honestly,
she's
she
dominating.
could technically be like a leader to the group. Like the way she is, like she doesn't, she doesn't get tilted. Not tilted, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that doesn't throw her off. Like people are dying, it doesn't throw her off, and she
She knows that things just have to get done.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I think I have a little different things about her. What was kind of neat too. She's a teacher. She was teaching the little kids like regular teaching stuff, but she also taught them how to survive like shooting
Yeah.
and
I
whatnot.
remember that.
When she did put the little girl down, I mean that's crazy,
Oh,
emotion,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my favorite lines in the fucking world is like just look at the flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes
yeah.
I feel like at work when someone's useless, I just be like, well, it's time to have them look at the flowers.
Damn.
That's my
You
thing.
know
in
what?
life. I use that all the time.
That
I
is
use it
such
all
a
the time.
tattoo line right there. You gotta get that
Oh,
tattoo.
man,
That's so
shit.
good. And then like have like a little flower, like a little bit of blood on it.
Oh fuck!
Damn.
Oh my god! I'm going to the tattoo shop. Damn! I need to do
For
that.
anybody who doesn't know, that is a possibility now. If you know
fuck.
him, we go to like
tattoos.
on a vacation with him, and he's like, "Oh, they're having a tattoo convention."
That's
I'll
right,
just-
Reno.
yeah, in Reno, and he ends up getting a tattoo of
Of a Ninja
Ninja
Turtle.
Turtles. Yeah, Leonardo, right?
Yeah, no, Donatello.
Donatello,
Trying
sorry.
to get it right. No. But she also is one of those characters that she could live on her own and be totally fine. Because when Rick kind of took her out of the group because she.
He basically banished her.
Yeah, but she was totally fine. And then
Just
when
took the law in her hands.
when she wouldn't be left alone and Ezekiel would come by and give her like gifts or whatever, she just wanted to be in a house
Yeah.
by herself.
Well, that was because of her emotional state. She changed and she needed to be by herself. That's a different part than when Rick
But
banished her.
but she can just survive on her own. She doesn't need anyone.
And when she got kicked out, she actually came back to help the group.
When she took over Terminus by
she
herself.
blew up.
Yeah.
The Terminus-
Yeah.
that was my next
So
thing.
that's
yeah.
why it's like she could be like a top leader in that group just because the way she is.
Yeah.
But I don't think she would be a good leader because I don't think she can lead people like physically, like take control and tell others what to do.
I think she's too much of
I
an
think
emotional wreck for
she's
that.
a lone
but
wolf. She's a great, a lone wolf. She's a great survivor, and she's totally awesome on her own. And sure, some people might want to follow her, but she doesn't want to take the responsibility of caring for them anymore. I think.
Not possible.
All right, so we'll go on to my number 5. My number 5 is Negan, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I love the actor. I think I know comic book wise it's a great character, but this actor's who keeps it alive. He's gonna be the new Batman. I don't know if you know that or not.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so in the Flashpoint,
Get the hell out of here.
I'm
you talking about Batman's dad then?
He is Batman's dad.
He's Batman's dad.
He's currently he's Ben Affleck, Batman's dad, and Maggie's actually his mom.
What
the fuck is going on?
You didn't know that? Okay,
No,
so in I think it's Batman vs Superman. The cut, you know how they always got to show Batman's parents dying.
Yeah.
If you watch it, Negan is the dad.
You're
Jeffrey
fucking
Dean Morgan
kidding.
is the dad.
Oh, yeah.
Maggie Lauren Cohen is the mom.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
You're pulling up the phone.
I'm putting it in the
Awesome.
player as soon as I
Okay,
go home.
you think that's awesome? This is so off of Walking Dead, but you think that's awesome. In Flashpoint, my favorite storyline from all of DC, Flash goes back in time to try to save his mom, and in that process makes it to where Bruce is who's killed in that alleyway.
Yeah.
Batman,
That crazy killer.
yeah, so Batman's dad becomes the new Batman.
Yeah.
And his mom goes nuts and becomes the new Joker.
Yeah.
So you could have, when Flash goes back, you will have Negan playing Batman and Maggie playing Joker.
But have you seen Rampage?
No, not yet.
Yeah, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, I know he's in it though.
He's almost like the same character. So I got to see him be someone.
The actor's pretty dominant. Even
Yeah.
as the comedian in Watchmen, he was kind of similar to that. But so I really like Negan. I really like how as the seasons have gone on, the season and a half he's in, we see him evolve. So in the beginning, you're just like, oh, he killed Glenn. This guy's an asshole. Blah 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 blah. But what you need to understand, his group's name is the the Saviors.
Yeah.
He, in a twisted, messed up way, thinks he's actually bringing civilization back.
Hell yeah.
So, because he's giving them the structure they need to survive. And he knows that in this point in time, the way to get through to people, kill a friend. So, make an example of somebody. It's terrible, but in this time, that makes sense to him. And, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. He has a functioning, this place called I think the Foundry. He has a functioning society with outposts that are functioning. It's gruesome to a lot of people and stuff like that, but it's functioning. Yeah. And a time when people are randomly going around, these people wake up and have food for them. They have a job to go to. They have protection. Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, oh, Negan's a monster because he killed Glenn. He kills one person out of everybody's groups to make an example. It's Glenn's because we attached to him. And I'm not sure if it was Abraham first or Glenn first. One of them was first. The other one was because Daryl spoke up. So that was Daryl's fault. Yeah. Daryl didn't understand the program. He now does. So it was effective. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's Negan's actually, and they show more depth as the show goes on. Negan actually is a deeper character. He actually is kind of not, he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy that makes sense.
So I think my only, or at least my biggest complaint with Negan is that maybe it's because he's such a big deal in the comic books, but I feel like right out the gate, they way overinflated who he is in the story before they developed it at all.
There's a lot of hype for him, yeah.
Yeah, tons of hype before, you have any reason to care for him or hate him or love him or anything. Yeah. So I think it was just too much right out the gate. And
so he couldn't live up to it.
Yeah, but it's that first impression, though. Hella strong.
Yeah. That first impression was great. I mean, you killed off two big characters.
But he spent an entire episode to kill off two characters. Dude,
but that's
put two bullets in their head.
This is the reason Walking Dead is numbers are all down. Is because they'll spend an entire episode walking down tracks. Yeah. Or we're just get to wherever you're going.
Tell me which episodes to skip so I can just get to the meat and potatoes.
I got one specific that you can skip and I will never let it go. It's the worst fucking episode ever, but whatever.
Do you remember it at all?
Yeah, it's when that fucking chick, that lesbian girl.
Gets the arrow in the back of her head?
No,
that's heartbreaking.
Lesbian girl that goes to the
her girlfriend.
Yeah, no, but when she goes to that area where it's all girls living.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking dumb, dude. One, I don't give a shit about this group. And two, it was just a smart aleck.
They do join the militia, though.
Her character's shitty, though. It's just a smart-ass little character that it's like, she thinks she seems like one of these Deadpool, but you're not even funny. You're just kind of
She's just kind of pointless to the story.
Anyway. Go ahead.
It's a mess. All right, well, it's your turn. So your number 5 was...
my number 5 was Carol's.
Okay, so Jonathan, what's your number 5?
My number 5 was Herschel Green.
Oh,
yeah. I try, of course, in all my top 5s, I try to not be what everyone else has. But I really liked Herschel because, he's a vet, and so he was able to save Carl. He's the only kind of doctor they had for a long time.
Yeah.
And in the show, early on, you're kind of not confused, but you're still learning how
the rules of this world.
Yeah, the rules of this world. And so he was a moral compass when they needed one. He kind of laid out hey, this is how things used to be, and this is how we should try to strive to be. He ended up learning, I think, in his time that things can't stay that way anymore, and that we do have to kind of rewrite our moral code to match this crazy world that we live in. But I think that was the main thing. And he was an all around good guy, and he was a good character in the show. And I'm glad that they kept him along longer than he was supposed to be.
Yeah, comic books he died sooner than he
did.
He dies pretty fast actually.
He was a good crutch, I think, for.
I think when the house burns down, he dies in that process.
Oh, wow. Okay.
One thing that's nice is when you get into Walking Dead in the beginning, it seems like all out anarchy.
Yeah.
He's the one that reminds you that society still has to exist.
Yeah.
And there are set rules that are called morality, and you have to still live with those rules, or you'll never have an ending.
Yeah.
It broke Rick.
Yeah.
Him doing that, but it kind of and it was interesting at the time. It became a pattern that they did with Rick later on, but it was interesting to see Rick like, oh wow, Rick is trying to become a farmer, and ever since then he's gone back and forth between it. And that's it's a shame on Rick, but shame on that character. But yeah, it's a good choice. All right, Daniel, we're at your number 4.
My number 4 is Merle Dixon.
Ooh, Merle was cool.
Wow. Go for it, man. Go for it.
I loved Merle. He was awesome.
He was pretty badass, though.
I like him in Guardians.
I like his machete arm, or his blade arm.
Yeah.
So he was an interesting character to watch. So in the show, he was technically a bad guy, but if you recall, he did get handcuffed on the roof.
Yeah.
So it kind of made him want to be bad. He wanted to get revenge. He wanted to kill all the people that left him. He had to chop off his own arm to get out. So he joined the governor to get revenge and pretty much get his brother back. But just his character was just so funny. He was racist. he was racist. But it was just he just really cared about him and his brother. That was it. And then in that world,
there is actually some admirable traits to him.
Yeah, like in that world, you pretty much want to have family and take care of your family, whatever costs. That's what he did. That's why he kind of he looked like a bad guy. But towards the end, if you've seen him, he did sacrifice himself to take out the governor's group. He took out 4 or 5 people. Yeah,
you saw him go good for a bit there.
Yeah, so he became a hero, and I think that there could have been more to him if they didn't kill him off. I think it would have been awesome. If
he's completely
foreshadowing the show. Guardians too. I'm just saying.
I know, but
the last couple minutes, all of a sudden he's changing hard to demon.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But that's why I kind of wish. I really liked that character, just the way he acted. Just in the show is just awesome.
He was a little bit of a cut in the comedy too. Like he was the kind of guy who. There's a couple of them that I like that are this way where the apocalypse was a good thing for him. You know what I'm saying? You could tell life was okay because they talk about how the dad's a shithead and stuff like that. Daryl talks about that to Bethany or Beth. Can't decide her name. But you could tell the apocalypse broke out. And he's like, sweet zombie hunting time. He's been looking forward to this. Let me go get my prepper stuff. I got this going.
Yeah.
So that's a good choice.
And that's another one that I think the character written into the story and stuff like that, he was just okay, but it was the actor who made him such a good character.
Yeah.
Right?
Really good actor. And do you have his name written down by chance?
Michael Rooker.
Michael, he needs to be more things.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's great in Guardians too, like we talked.
Yeah, he's good.
So we start doing some lead characters now.
There's your number 4. Okay, my number 4, guys, doesn't even have a last name. He's so off the side, but I love him. Jerry.
Jerry.
Do any of you know who Jerry is?
No idea.
He is Ezekiel's bodyguard, King Ezekiel's bodyguard.
Oh, the Hawaiian guy?
If he died, I'm done with this freaking show, I swear. I love that dude.
You can't even hate the guy.
What's that?
He's just jolly all the time, or whatever. Yeah,
he is... Okay, let me give you some more in-depth stuff about Jerry. Yeah. Okay, I don't need no haters on this guy. First of all, he's me in the apocalypse. He found a dude that was cool, and he's just like, look, I'll just stick with you. You make sure I stay alive.
And he's role-playing. That's probably why.
He is totally role-playing.
He's like, all right, cool, I can do this. And all that.
He's one of 2 people you see King Ezekiel break character for, because King Ezekiel's he's portraying a king to show confidence, right? But there's every so often Jerry will be like, hey dude, I'm down. He'll just throw that in there and just he'll be like, yes my lord, of course my liege, or whatever. And then he's like, dude, did you see this thing? And he'll break it. And then honestly, Rick can die, Carol, I don't care who could go. But if they get close to, there's been times where they get close to killing Jerry, no, he has to live throughout this thing. And he's got the big axe. I think he saved
Yeah, he saved Ezekiel
with his big axe, and he's used guns before
to like break open a gate when they were trying to run away or some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just living in this world, and like he's one of those things where it's like I think he could have been a Eugene. Eugene's got I think something going on with Eugene where he's not like totally stable or whatever, but he's kind of like Eugene where he's just like I just kind of want to find my place in this world and be comfortable. Mm-hmm. He found his place. And it's playing. He's out there LARPing, and that's his place. I just love him. He's totally me in this world. I was like, I just find my King Ezekiel. Zombies break out. I'm like, who's the king? I'm your homie. Let me just tell me what you got to do. But yeah, so I just love Jerry. He's my favorite. Every time he talks something funny, he's just I love him. He's my favorite character. He's not my favorite, obviously, but he's really good. All right, you got a number 4, Squeaks.
Yeah, so I put him a little higher than you. But I put Negan as number 4 instead of 5.
I expect him to be on everybody's list. He's really good.
Yeah, he's insane. I think, first of all the wives he has.
the harem. Yeah.
But I feel like he's true evil. And the way he uses his that to show it off. Kind of like when you said kill people that are close to him. When Glenn and Abraham.
Yeah.
So it kind of made that crazy first impression like I brought up. Obviously the best villain in the TV series. For sure. Hands down.
Well, we'll see in our number 3 if that's true.
He is, no, for sure. He is the Empire for Star Wars. Because he wants to be good, but he's using this overview of power above. I just made that up. Above everyone.
Perfect, though.
Okay, cool. Empire wants peace, Negan wants peace, but it's like in a controlling way.
Yeah, domination to create peace.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what the Empire did. Right.
So, yeah, I put him as, like what you said, built a community and a working system, even though it seems harsh, but it's working. Yeah. And I think anything needs to work nowadays with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think he's just dominant no matter where he goes. When he goes to Rick's house and he starts cooking dinner.
He
cooks the spaghetti, but they're just... went along with it.
He's so good at belittling people.
Yeah, exactly.
In like the coolest way. Like when he hands Rick his Lucille, when he hands him the bat, when he's like talking or whatever, like, here, you hold on to this. And it's just like,
Rick's not doing anything with it.
That's such a dick move. Like, poor Rick is being so belittled. This is really good.
I think he rules with fear. No matter where he goes or who he talks to, nobody ever talks back to him usually. Like when he caught Simon, gonna go behind his back.
Yeah.
What's that guy? With the guy with the scar on his face, we were talking about it.
I know, I can't remember his name.
But everyone's scared to do anything to him. And it's like, you guys can just gang up on him and kill him, but they won't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with the fear, he also, besides branding his victims or branding whoever, scarring them on the face for whatever they do bad, he also threw that doctor into the oven. Not the oven, but... that fireplace too for letting Daryl go.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, he's just nuts, and then people are just great.
Well, it's all about making an example. It's the reason he has these people walk around with messed up faces. You know, he's just making an example out of them.
Yeah. So he's my Darth Vader for Walking Dead.
Dwight, thank you, Dwight. I actually think Dwight might be one of the future best parts of the show. If it's going to survive that 15% chance of it doing good after this Rick change, Dwight's going to be a key part of it because he's actually a very complicated character. Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. He's my Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, my number 4 is Dale Horvath by Jeffrey Demon.
Going deep.
Yeah.
Dale. You don't remember Dale? RV guy?
Nobody probably remembers Dale, but so he was kind of like Herschel. I guess these are my favorite people, but for totally not Walking Dead reasons. But he was the defender of humanity, just like similar to Herschel.
Yeah.
But pretty much almost the only reason why he's on my top 5 is one quote from him, which is actually a quote from William Faulkner. He was quoting when he said it. But I did not realize where this came from. It's been in the back of my mind for years now. I mean, since, what was it, season 2 or whatever aired?
Season 2, yeah.
It's a quote about time. I remember this story of a man giving his son a watch, and I thought, man, this must be from like The Godfather or some epic movie, which I just watched The Godfather recently. It wasn't in that. So I was like, it was in some epic movie or something, and I couldn't figure it out. Finally, it wasn't until I just started, I was like, I got to research these characters again and try to remember all the deeper ones that aren't on the surface. And I found out he's the one that said that quote. I was like, son of a bitch.
Tell me this quote, dude.
And it's got a lot more depth in it. I mean, I don't know. You'll see. I like it. All right. So this is him, him quoting somebody else. So he paraphrases it a little bit, but
of course, yeah.
I have it in his words. It says, I like what a father said to his son when he gave him a watch that had been handed down through generations. He said, I give you this mausoleum of all hope and desire, which will fit you individual needs no better than it fit mine or my father's before me.
Right.
I give it to you, may you remember time, or that you may remember time. No, sorry, I wrote that wrong. I give it to you, not that you may remember time, but that you may forget for a moment, and now and then, and not spend all of your breath trying to conquer it.
That last bit, I remember that part.
Yeah, so I fucking said that all bad. But pretty much what he's saying is I give you this watch that has been passed down from generation to generation, not so that you can always be keen on time and know exactly what's going on at what moment or what minute, but so you can just stare out the window for a minute, so you can take a moment to enjoy life and lose time, forget what it is altogether. And I think back before we had watches, when people had to just think of time from the sun and shit like that, or when watches were first developed or whatever, or keeping time was first developed. But it's like, yeah, so nowadays, I mean, we could just stop thinking about time altogether for, a while, and then you look back at your watch like, oh, okay, cool, I got this thing at 2:30,
Yeah.
I'm good. But the just that whole concept and the way he said it, of course, was a lot nicer than the way I say it. But so that's pretty much the only reason why Dale's on my.
You went deep on a character that's only been around for two seasons.
I know. And he was almost a nobody. He was a nice guy. And,
I mean, I liked his RV. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, another moral compass and defender of humanity. He was the first one, I think, that even pointed out the fact that, if we become savages like the others, if we just start offing each other because we're having petty fights or whatever it may be, then we're no better than humanity's already lost. Then we might as well be zombies because humanity's out the window. So it's more important that we die protecting what humanity we have left rather than survive by killing everybody else that we disagree with, kind of thing. Yeah. So that on top of, my favorite quote that I totally forgot was from him until I started doing this homework. He was a good guy.
I love how you have this speech about humanity going on while we have the ice cream truck parked in front of this house.
It's
playing the music.
Oh, yeah, guys, need some ice cream.
We could pause this, right? I'll be right back.
It's got a couple bucks.
You guys keep going.
That was good, though. I haven't really thought about Dale in a long time, so it's kind of...
Yeah, kind of a real low-B character, but I like it.
How'd he die again? I know he got
I want to say
Daryl
zombie.
killed him. No shit. No, I know Daryl killed him.
I remember him getting, like...
I think he died saving Beth, though, didn't he? One of the girls.
Saving that blonde chick. Remember that he was trying to save...
maybe not Beth. Yeah. The one before that.
The one that had an affair with...
Andrea, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was like a daughter to
top 5.
No, she's... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did start making a bottom 5 list, though.
We'll start doing those at some point.
Yeah, worst Walking Dead characters. There's a lot of them.
Oh, gotcha. All right, Daniel, what do we got for number 3?
4. 4, right?
No,
3.
No, number 3.
Oh, you already did your 4? What was your 4?
Yeah.
Merle?
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
No.
Okay, forget about me. Sorry.
My number 3 is Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck this guy. Oh, my God.
All right, how do you take it? No, you take it.
Whiny ass bitch. That's how I took it.
What?
Yeah, I hate Glenn.
He started weak. But just like Carol, he went through a transformation to where
exactly like
he
Carol.
could pretty much be a fucking leader. He would be much more apt to be a leader of the group than Carol would, for sure. I think
he would have been the best leader for the group.
He's a great follower, a great servant to work.
I don't think so.
No, because once he got with Maggie, his whole perspective changed. He was more worried about Maggie, everything.
Yeah.
And who's Rick more worried about? He says, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. My wife and kids are more important. I'm only keeping you alive because you're bait in front of the zombies in front of my wife and kids, right?
Yeah, but again, he's more worried about his family. So
Glenn's more like...
Then he would have, went against the group. You know what I'm saying?
Lover boy.
Yeah. He would have gone away from the group. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying he would have ditched them and just ran off with her.
Yeah.
So let's see what do you have written down for why you like Glenn?
Yeah. Oh, just spoiler. Glenn's my number 3 too.
Okay.
That's why I'm so like.
That's why I wasn't passionate.
So far, we've talked about how much you and me think he should be. Me and Jonathan should think he'd be a good leader.
Yeah.
And then you were talking smack on that, and so I want to know why do you think he's?
Do you think he's good?
He loves the group. He throughout the season, in the beginning, he was afraid.
Yeah.
He would still do it. He did whatever. When they were stuck in the mall, he got that van. but he was afraid in the beginning. Then later on, he built up. He got the encouragement. Then later, he met Maggie, fell in love, and then you start seeing that he's a badass hero. He takes care of the group, but he wants to be more like with Maggie. Wants to protect Maggie. Yeah. So I feel like if he was a leader, I think Maggie would come first over the group. Like Rick, okay, yes, he's the leader, but now he doesn't have Carl. He has more of the group. He has a daughter he has to worry about, but now he has the whole group. That's why I think he could still be a good leader.
Yeah.
I think his best quality though is he's a fucking genius. If he's smart, like he would be like a good version of the governor. I think if he was the leader of a group, because he's the brains of the operation, and he was the first one to discover. I think he was the first one when they were still in Atlanta that you could just put zombie guts on you and walk amongst them, and that saved him when he
that was a technique that Michonne's been using before all of them.
We didn't know about her until then.
The next season. She used dead zombies. Right. She used zombies. Yeah.
But from what we knew in season 1, he started that. He was the first one in the group to do that.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I'm just saying he's smart. Yeah. I think the smartest one out of the group.
Personally, I think he actually would have been, probably the best leader.
I think so too.
I don't know.
If something had happened to Rick,
I think he cares too much. He doesn't have that hardcore side like Rick does. Where
but that's the only thing that made Rick a good leader was that he was sensitive enough and soft enough to stay on the right side of that line.
But I think Glenn is just soft and no hard.
But you gotta look at Negan. Negan just dominates a group because they tried to be nice. Hey, come here, join us, and then it bites them in the ass. Yeah, look at Negan. Glenn. Negan just boom. That's how you do it. That in that world, you have to be strong. It's not about the zombie. It's not about the zombies. It's about the people.
Yeah,
and that's the issue. And you can't be a weak little bitch.
That's where Dale comes back around. If you lose all humanity, you are already a zombie.
Here's the problem. There is a transition phase where you're right, where you need to be as hardcore as possible. We call that the Rick phase. I'm gonna call that the Rick phase. But then there has to become a Carl phase, where there's something. Because if you've seen the latest season, Carl left these notes and stuff like that in the show that kind of shows like we have a chance here to create an alliance or to create peace to where we have society coming out of this. So, hardcore only in the beginning. But that can't last forever. You need the good side. You need to see that you can imprison bad guys. Otherwise, you only have anarchy forever.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying, like, Glenn is way too nice. Would have been way too nice to be a leader, though, because he gave too many people second chances. Too.
True, and you can't always do that.
You can't always do that.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so I think one of Rick's best reigns, like he goes through a lot of phases where he's like emo and happy back and forth. One of his best situations is where it was clear that he was the common sense, compassionate leader. And Daryl was his executioner.
Yes. That's exactly what I was going to use, too. Glenn needs a good executioner.
He needs a good executioner. So who would you think would be good Glenn's partner that would be the hardcore one?
Daryl. Daryl would have to be there.
You think Daryl would follow Glenn?
I don't think so.
I don't think so,
like you're saying, he would find weak.
He would have to do that because you couldn't use Michonne because Michonne's on Rick's side. And I don't think Michonne really... She wasn't really too involved. She was more involved with Rick, I believe.
Well, I think Maggie would be good, but the problem is you need the Maggie version of the harder from Glenn dying.
Maggie, not the back then Maggie.
Yeah.
What if you still had Merle, and Merle was Glenn's executioner?
Merle would not follow Glenn.
Nah, he wouldn't.
There's no way.
Plus he's Asian.
because Rick had the ability to like go out there with a gun from the very beginning and check people down, but he was compassionate. Yeah. So you need Glenn to have that ability to switch that on and off, or somebody who's willing to follow Glenn. Yeah. That's why I think Maggie, if Maggie were to find that strength in her, which she might be able to, but
how about Carol?
Oh, that's it right there.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's Carol. Awesome. And
Carol would be Glenn's executioner. God,
dude,
that's a good group right there.
Combination.
Yeah. All right, you need to talk to Kirkman, see if we can get a spin off.
You're right there.
All right. That was your number 3, right?
Yes.
That's a good conversation. There's a lot to think about here. All right, my number 3, the best villain in the show.
No way.
The Governor.
No, he's not.
Governor played.
That was cool.
Yeah, he played by David Morrissey.
That's exactly. Oh, it was cool.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
He was in my top 32.
He was the best. All right, his real name in the show is actually Philip, or in the comics too, Philip Blake. Everybody knows him as the Governor. He was the leader of the town Woodbury, which we see Woodbury in the beginning as just like this really happy-go-lucky town. Everything's going really well, which is a sign of how things are going for the governor. He later on was the leader of the river camp. Ice cream truck is coming back by again if you guys are hearing that, which I know you are because I hear these. He was the villain for all of season, or antagonist, for all of season 3, half of season 4. When you saw him in the everyday aspect, real kind of just charming man, had that southern drawl, really good leader. Then you saw his personal house where he had the wall of fish tanks that had people's heads, which he said was to keep him in check because he knew the outside the walls in Woodbury was rough. And then the step farther is he lost his daughter at one point. She became a zombie, and he has her chained up in the closet. That's full nut job. Yeah. So,
but he can overlook those two things.
He was a good leader.
Stay away from his house.
Yeah,
he's a decent guy.
I really liked him. He was my. I thought he was a really good villain because if Rick didn't poke that bear, or more specifically, Michonne didn't poke that bear, he would have kept. I think he would have kept running just fine. I think it would have gotten rough.
You could almost justify his insanity. The way he did like the gladiator pit kind of thing, where he would. But it was people against each other.
Yeah, it was to distract people, just like the Romans did.
It's for the greater good. And it was kind of cool. You don't want to see somebody turn and whatnot. People are dying, but in the end, that's one of the tools that he used to keep society together in his community.
I don't remember exactly all the reasons he did it. I'm not sure if it was just purely for entertainment or if he actually used it as punishment.
I think it was for punishment.
Punishment. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was he was harsh, but there was a menace. He had the pits where he was collecting zombies in them or walkers in them, stuff like that. He had a crew though. He had an elite force with him, and so he was really good. Now, where his character turned from solid leader to full on nut job is Michonne broke into his house and stabbed his daughter and
killed another walker that she
finished the walker off his daughter. I think tipped over all his cool collection of heads. Rude. And ended up stabbing him in the eye. Also rude. Yeah. And so then he had the eye patch and he went full villain.
It's all Michonne's fault. Really.
And if you see, like, after he was banished from Woodbury and they ended up adopting a lot of Woodbury people, he ends up wandering around for a little bit. He ends up meeting a family and becoming a part of that family and ends up running the river crew, this river camp. And he uses them to attack the prison again because to me, prison season 3 is the best season of the whole show. But he ends up attacking the prison, and that's where we see him. He kills Herschel. He brings in a couple characters that we end up using. One in particular that we use to this day. Finally, was killed by Michonne. While he's killing Michonne, or while Michonne stabs him. I'm sorry. He was actually killed by I think her name was Julie. Did I write that down? I think I did. Lily. He was killed by Lily. But Michonne stabbed him in the back, which made him able to be killed. But when in that process, he was choking Rick. And I think he was the closest to anybody to actually killing off Rick. He actually had him down. Rick was changing colors. If Michonne was 20 seconds later, I think Rick would have been dead. So he actually was, I think, the most effective villain. More effective than Negan has been on killing Rick front.
Well, if Negan wanted to kill Rick.
Yeah,
Negan had all those opportunities
at his house, like we talked about.
Well, but Negan needs Rick in a lot of ways. It's the reason he didn't kill him. He needs Rick because he knows Rick controls that whole town.
But you put him over, my Negan. But you talk about, he goes into a nut job or a nut case, whatever he turns into. Yeah. But Negan's never turned into a nut case, no matter how crazy everything happens.
Because he started
He's able to keep it
together.
Is he, though?
He can't get
he has everything in order, though.
Okay, so no, Negan has never... I don't think Negan has ever lost control. Yeah. I think he's lost some actual physical control, but has always kept his composure and was able to gain the control back.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that. And I think the governor has actually lost control.
Yeah.
We've seen it. But I think that's in his bounce back from that half season on season 4. I think we saw that bounce back. I think that's where we see him you can knock him down, but he's still going to become dominant. He's still, I don't know. I really liked the character. I think the way he kept his daughter and stuff like that, which was nuts, I think that really showed something that would happen a lot in the apocalypse.
People losing their sanities.
Well, and people keeping their loved ones in cages like that.
You don't know, especially if we didn't have shows like this. Imagine in their world, they didn't watch a show called Walking Dead.
Well, yeah, and that always happens in all zombie movies. They don't know what zombies are.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So what do you do when your family member's sick and they start going crazy and they start biting at you and stuff? But of course, you're going to try to keep them alive as much as you can. And they don't happen to die from this plague, even though they're acting crazy.
So then you see, he's running the town and he's still a little crazy, but he really loses it after his daughter was killed in front of him in his perspective, and by Michonne. So then it's totally understandable to a degree of why he's going full on revenge mode, and he's just actor was amazing. Negan's actor is great too, but I think he's pretty badass. Yeah. Reminds me of probably the best zombie movie in the world, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Where they keep their friends as zombies. He keeps Nick Frost as a zombie. It's really good. Simon Pegg does. Anyways, so that was my number 3. Right. What do we got, Squeaks?
My number 3 is Michonne.
Oh,
all right. Good choice. The reason the governor fell apart. Go ahead.
I think from the gate, she was that crazy ass character with the sword. I mean, you have a character that was slashing all these zombies, plus with the 2 zombies on leashes, and you're like, who the fuck is this chick, right? So I liked her impact when they first brought her on. Not just a typical character that was just shooting guns and whatnot. Another thing was badass was the governor scene. Yeah. Killed the daughter and stabbed him in the eye. That was pretty crazy. I think she's complex, tough exterior, but she has the emotion, the whatever you call it, the
tender side.
Yeah, tender side emotions showing, especially.
Yeah, we're seeing that now. Yeah.
When she has her relationship with Rick, she's like all happy and everything's going okay. But then you see the sad side where Carl dies and she starts to become a mess too.
Yeah.
She's also, besides Carol, the one that could live on her own too. She was going how long without anybody's help, and she was totally fine. So I feel like some of these characters can't survive on their own and need a dependent, but her.
Yeah, she was just fine on her own.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember of the 2 walkers that she had when she first was introduced, the ones that followed her on chains or pets or whatever? Do you remember who they were? Because I remember there was some kind of importance to them.
It was her ex and her ex's best friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they showed like a scene where she was all, whatever, like in the house with him or something like that. And then next thing you know, they're all dead. Yeah.
So.
One thing about her becoming more tender, I think her and Rick together is believable. It's okay. What I really liked is her becoming the new mom of Carl. I keep saying Carol.
Yeah. Carl. I was trying to say Carl.
Yeah. But her and there was one part where it almost made me choke up, to be honest with you, where Carl was mentioning like, you're my best friend, and you're like, holy shit, they were actually like really good friends. And he was like becoming the mom. She was becoming the mom to Carl. I'm gonna dance. It's unfortunate my number 2 is a lot of this, but yeah, that's some good stuff. Yeah, it's a good choice.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, John, what we got for number 3?
My number 3 was Glenn. We talked about it.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, he was cool. I remember. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs in the show, a lot of suspense and whatnot. But I remember when he fell. It was the end of season 2, I think. I don't know. Where he fell off the dumpster with that one douchebag that blew his own brains out, right?
Yeah.
And they fell off the trash can, off the dumpster, in the middle of the huge crowd of zombies, and you're like, oh man, I can't believe they killed off Glenn. That's so fucking sad. But in the back of your mind, then you're just like, I didn't see his bloody face and guts everywhere. Yeah. There's just that little.
You saw it later.
Yeah. But so you're like, oh man, there's a chance. I'm gonna give up on it, but there's a chance. And then sure enough, the next season starts, and you're like, oh my god, that's so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so he went from like being the weak little nerdy guy to developing a lot as a character, becoming stronger, a leader, the brains of the operation, almost all situations. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think his strongest scene though was when he was killed by Negan.
That was the worst. I'm like, okay, dude, really? The first 10 minutes, just tell me which ones you're gonna kill off so I can turn this off.
They milked that episode pretty good.
Way too fuck. I'm like, I'll just skip to the next episode and count heads and see who's not here after that.
His strongest scene though, personally, is the very first time we meet him when Rick is stuck in the tank and he's the guy on the radio and he comes in. That's when you fall in love with him. That's when he's like, oh man, this is this go-lucky kid that's just like, oh yeah, I'm in the zombie world, but let me save you, mister. And he had that hat, that baseball cap that like de-aged him so hard. Just because he was a kid and he was on for the ride.
And his relationship with Maggie again is another thing that kind of brings back some humanity to this crazy situation. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
That was good, yeah. All right, so that was so we're on to number 2.
All right,
Daryl.
Daryl's my number. So you had the brothers on there, all right?
I had to get the brothers. Pick Daryl because he's the perfect person for the apocalypse world.
I thought you said pops. I'm like, we're talking pops.
Apocalypse world.
Yeah.
He knows how to survive. He knows how to kill. His character really changed in the show because he's a hard ass, just like his brother.
But wasn't he always from the beginning?
No,
he was a little softer.
He was softer because he was always with his brother. His brother used to like kind of keep him in check.
He was the little brother under his thumb.
Yeah. Then he ended up changing, and at the beginning he didn't really care. He didn't want to have a life. It seemed like, and then towards later on he met pretty much Rick's family. Beginning, it was pretty bad because he found out his brother was chained up. After that, he started caring about the group. He kind of had a thing for two girls, not two little girls, but two girls.
Yeah.
And then no, because the older lady,
Carol,
and Carol, like he had kind of like a thing.
Right.
But it didn't go that far.
Yeah.
And just. He started showing a lot of emotion, and then that's why I had to pick him, just because his character, the way he was.
Yeah, he has developed very cool.
He developed a lot,
very well,
and he could be. I think he could still be a leader, or.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this because he's probably fucking audience, number one like favorite character, whatever. But I was talking to somebody else about this, and I'm trying to narrow down my top 5 and stuff like that, and they're like, he's the biggest bullshit character in the entire show. And I was like, what are you talking about? How is he a bullshit? I mean, he's a pretty cool guy. He can survive on his own and stuff like that. And he's like, no, but he's the only fucker that uses a crossbow. And have you ever tried to load a crossbow?
It's such a pain in the ass.
You got to spend fucking 20 seconds. And I mean, luckily he's ripped. He's ripped because he's doing this every day. But you still, I mean, zombies coming at you. You got to throw that thing on the fucking ground.
And crossbows need a lot of waxing.
Yeah.
You never see them carry a wax.
And where's the nearest 6 sporting goods you can load up on more arrows? You got to go to every fucking walker you shoot and pull that arrow.
He has to be making his own, right?
I never seen. They didn't show any.
Him get a couple kills though, like Legolas, right? Lord of the Rings, where he just stabs him and then shoots him. Right?
Yeah. If you have bow and arrow,
no.
That would be a lot more
No. He's talking about where he like stabs him with an arrow, then shoots the arrow. Yeah. The problem is that's the only time you see him kill more than one walker with an arrow.
Yeah.
Because he is very limited by that crossbow.
Yeah. But are you interested in watching?
I don't think I've ever seen him actually load the damn thing.
No. Are you interested in watching?
I've seen him reload.
Like, oh, Coy's loading it again.
I think he'd be way cooler if he had a bow. If he had a compact bow.
He did load it once though. He did load it on the second to last episode. You see him like put it on the ground and he pulls it.
No, he does actually load it throughout the season.
He does.
I would like his character better if he just leaned on other weapons more. If you didn't always use that as his leading weapon.
But that's like Michonne with the katana.
Yeah,
but the katana is insanely effective in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
it's something that doesn't need to be reloaded. And katanas are very sharp.
Her sharpening it all the time.
Yeah.
But crossbows are kind of... They're quieter than guns. They're the silent weapons. Remember? They're not that silent.
Compared to a gun... Okay, so compared to a gun, yes, they're quieter. And if you're just taking out one, maybe two walkers,
it's not fine. It's fine.
Yeah. But I think what you're saying is a bow would be better than that.
Yeah.
Because you can take out more walkers.
Yeah, with the bow you have a lot more rapid fire than a crossbow, which you have to fucking reload.
Yeah, but bows take a lot more skills.
No, use a machete. Use a blade. I would say if he's got that. I mean, I know he does sometimes.
Yeah, he does use like a Bowie knife or something like that, right?
Some shit,
yeah.
Some sort of
he always starts with the crossbow, and it's like, dude.
Other than his weapon, though, he's still a really cool character. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you're talking about trying to be quiet, he does drive a fucking loud ass motorcycle, so that's a dead giveaway. Leads them right back to your camp every time.
But the
motorcycle,
but it's a badass motorcycle looks cool, so
it goes well with his cutoff sleeves.
The walkers are like, bruh, nah, you too cool for me.
Guns on the big scenes though.
He does.
And his fucking sleeveless shirts that's walker bait right there. Like,
bro,
you gotta wear duct tape sleeves down to your wrists.
Bring it.
He is an all-American badass, bro. That's all it is.
That's why he's not a comic book. He's completely made for a TV character.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You'd wear sleeves and you use something that doesn't take ammo that has to.
Hey, fuck it. You know what? When this zombie apocalypse happen, I'm gonna show up at your door with sleeveless shirts.
Do it. I'm gonna keep you in front of me as the fucking bait while I'm using my sword. You're fucking loading a bow. Crossbow.
All right. That was your number 2. My number 2 is Carol.
Oh. Woo. That's my number 2 as well.
Okay, let's talk about her together, man. All right, so we'll go over it real quick. Abusive husband, daughter dies. 2 quote unquote adopted kids, Lisa and Mika, die. Takes out Terminus by herself. My favorite part of her though, like all that is awesome. That's all cool. The part where I'm like, boom, she's amazing, is the way she adapts in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
They get to Alexandria, they're all afraid of these new people that come in there because Alexandria is like a nice community. Everything's been going really well for them. They got really insanely lucky, honestly.
Yeah.
And then they come in and they got Rick who looks like a mess. Everybody looks rough, right?
People are scaring them just by their appearance.
But then you got Carol who's just like, well, let me bake you some cookies.
Blends right. She's a fucking chameleon.
So she's very adaptive.
Yeah.
She adapts to her surroundings, and she's like, and she's collecting intel. She's gathering weapons. She's
a
figuring out the food.
at the best.
Yeah, so she's meant for this world. And in the beginning, you don't think so. In the beginning, you're like, okay, she's just kind of behind her husband's shadow. She breaks loose of that, and then when her daughter dies, that scene where you find out the daughter dies, she's inside the barn, and they release the barn.
She comes out.
Damn.
Yeah. And so that's another thing. Is not only did her daughter die, like everyone else's kids and family die, whatever, but it dragged out. Like it was a long. Let's go
searching
hunt for the child. Yeah.
They weren't as cold at that point in the story to where they knew they were just like shut off emotion time.
Yeah.
Now you fast forward to when she's like, look at the flowers. Yeah. She has learned to kind of shut some emotions off. She's added those layers to her to protect herself, like armor or like the layers of an onion.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you want to mention on Carol?
You just read off her entire bio.
I will. You said that she was able to adapt, but that's just like when, even to like in battle or whatever, the wolves' enemies, the wolves.
Yeah, the wolves. Yeah.
She dressed up as one of them, and then like went undercover and was killing them all too.
Yeah.
So
she's smart. She's cunning, and she's like you're saying, a perfect survivor. Yeah. Like she's a chameleon. She'll blend in with her surroundings and act how she needs to act to be able to survive.
And then story arc wise, it's funny because they kind of pit her against Morgan, as in opposites of mentality on the situation, killing people wise. Yeah. They've always seemed to switch. Now Morgan, it seems more of a mental not stable.
Oh yeah. Destabilized?
Yeah, we'll go with that word. But with her, it seems to make more sense the way she flips back and forth, and she lives outside the kingdom in her own little house, like King Ezekiel, you can tell, sweet on her, comes over and visits and brings like cobbler or whatever. But it just feels like her story, her ability to switch back and forth, her arc, and when she does step up when it's needed. She mostly lives on her own now. Everything she does feels more natural now because she grew into that character. Yeah. When you see Morgan on the other side, when he's flipping around and stuff like that, it doesn't make no sense because first off, we're missing big chunks of his life. Secondly, you go from a moment where he's like murder machine to compassion, don't touch anybody, back to murder machine. Yeah. It's like he's literally a switch flipping off instead of like dimming switch like she is. Where
he doesn't have, like you're saying, the mental stability that she has.
Stability, that works. Yeah, we'll go with that.
For him, it literally breaking, and he's like, oh, well, if it's not on, it's off. So if I'm not gonna protect everybody, I'm just gonna fucking kill everybody. And then she's complete opposite, where she can control her emotions. And she's a lot more logical.
And she's left the group twice. Both have made sense. First time because she killed somebody without being within the rules. Yeah. So Rick had to banish her. Yeah. She survived just well. She came back in to save their ass at Terminus.
Did she get banished, or did she go ahead and leave, and then they agreed? Like,
him and her, Rick and her went out to go collect stuff in the station wagon. And Rick told her, "You got to go, or else there'll be problems when you get back." Second time she left is because she saw that she can't get attached to anybody anymore because they die. In this world, people die. So she couldn't see herself getting attached to anybody anymore. She left to try to protect herself a little bit. And now she's kind of like Batman or Justice League. She's only called in when something needs to die, and she's awesome.
Oh, that's good. She's fucking Batman. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect analogy.
So I think she's just awesome. Yeah. I mean, I hate to be so generic, but yeah.
No, I'm the same thing. It's just like all around. I mean, you listed off her everything about her, but she's a really cool character. I think she's underrated in the show. I mean, maybe everybody loves her, but I mean, there's so much hype about. Of course, Rick, because he's the lead character, whatever, and what's his name? We just talked about Daryl. Yeah. Everybody loves Daryl. I don't know, but I think Carol's a lot. Yeah. I mean, if there was a way to fucking make her the lead character,
I was just thinking. Okay, so if Daryl's going to be the new main character, they didn't say lead as in leading of the group.
Yeah.
So if Daryl's the new main character, what if he goes back to being that executioner role to her being the leader of the group? Do you think that'll work? She'd have to invest in them.
I don't think she would ever want to be a leader. Just like we're saying, she's a survivalist. She'll just go out of the camp and survive on her own. She doesn't want people riding on her coattails.
She might be better candidate for a standalone film or a show. Maybe one of the spinoffs.
Something.
She's got to take care of some kid they could do Logan with her in it. I'm just thinking. But anyways, we're talking about Logan earlier. So that was mine. My number 2. Squeaks, what do we got for number 2?
All right, my number 2 is my favorite character. He's not number one, but he's number two. It's Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Now, overall, being the leader, yeah, he has his downsides or whatever, where he's, gets a little crazy, whatever they all do. But he went to Alexandria and made it his bitch, like it was his. Yeah. And then when people want to try to turn against him, he was like, no, you're going to fucking do what I say. You think you're going to... What was something he said? Oh, yeah. He said, you really think you're going to take this community from us, from Glenn, from Michonne, from Daryl, from me? You have no idea who you're talking to. I was like, badass. Yeah. So, besides that, he always keeps his promises, no matter what, even when he says he's going to kill someone. There was a character, Gareth. Yeah. And it was an episode where he's in Terminus, and they were fighting or doing whatever the hell, and Gareth was like pleading to let him free, or pass will never come across again. I promise. But he's like, I already made a promise to you that I was going to kill you. And he just fucking starts slashing at him.
Right.
Besides, I don't know, he just always keeps a focus on being a leader. There was a time where he was fighting with the Claimers. Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of the whole thing, whatever. The motorcycle group? Yeah. I think this was this guy. And then he takes that chunk off the neck. He didn't have a knife or anything, so he bits his neck. He bits his neck, and there was just blood everywhere. Yeah. Am I right? The motorcycle group?
I think it was them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah. like he just bits him, and then just blood is flying everywhere.
So here's my one complaint, if you don't mind me arguing with you on this one. You said that he always stays focused on being the leader. And I think Carl has proven that wrong.
Okay.
Carl has even said that you need to be the leader, because there's times where he's wanted to check out. Farmer Rick is kind of the same for that, because in season 3 he does that for a bit. He goes and becomes Farmer Rick, like, oh, they got this, I'm good, I'm gonna go farm now.
Fuck yeah, I don't remember from way back then.
Well, but that happens multiple times, and there's times where Carl's telling him, like, you may not want to be the leader, but you have to be the leader. They already look to you. You're the one with the skill set to do this. You have to be the leader. Yeah. They've had that conversation a couple times. And so I think there's times where it's the leader that doesn't want to be the leader is the best leader kind of thing, or you see that a lot, where that's always going to be the best one. But I think he flips too much too. He's also like, he gets into these modes where he's like, we need to be peaceful, guys. We need to talk first. Then something snaps, something goes too far. Somebody kills the Glenn. And then he goes nuts. And then he goes nuts until he goes too far, and then somebody who's normally his son, who's now gone, has to bring him back down. Yeah. And then we reset the cycle again. And I think he's repeating a story too much doing that.
Yeah. That's why, he's not my number one. That's why I was saying he's flip-floppy.
Yeah, flip-floppy. But
that's a good term. I don't know, maybe I think he just knows he has to take on the role of being a leader, so he just takes it back again.
Yeah.
So,
And I think he's really strong. Like, has a strong personality, strong character, strong mentally. But I don't think he has that full mental stability like we talked about with Carol. He does break, and when he breaks, it's like, dude, you're holding up everybody. You're holding up the
when
entire
he breaks, everybody depends on him, so they fall.
So and it's a lot more obvious and noticeable than if Glenn breaks. Okay, well, you just sit in the corner while we take care of stuff.
Carol breaks, she moves out. If Rick were to move out, who's running Alexandria?
Exactly.
But he does have both sides, like you guys were saying about Glenn being a leader, but he has the side where, okay, I'm going to straight have to fucking kill everyone, and then, okay, I'm passionate here and there.
Yeah.
So,
just get vengeful.
He's not just one-sided type of person. True. But yeah, I love Rick.
All right, so we're on yours, John. What's number 2?
Yeah. My number 2 is Carol. We talked about her a lot already.
That's right.
Yeah. She's badass. All around. She's... I don't know. I in my notes, I also put that of course, she's a survivor. That's one of my favorite features about her. I think she could be a leader if she wanted to, but the smartest of them wouldn't choose to be a leader, because that's taking on a huge burden, and it's a lot of people you have to worry about. And in this kind of world, you need to worry about you and yourself, and maybe your immediate family, and everyone else is.
And as soon as you have to carry somebody else, you get hurt. We see it time and time again.
Yeah, and so it's a sink or swim kind of world. And I noted down that she's honest, but she's not necessarily honest to your face. But her character is a true to herself character. She lies. She lies plenty when she needs to, because she's a chameleon.
Because it's survivability.
Yeah. But she's not I don't know how to say. Her character doesn't change back and forth very much.
Well, she's I think you're saying like she's honest to herself. She's honest in being herself. If she doesn't want to go fight, she'll let you know that.
Yeah.
And then she won't break it unless somebody's gonna actually get hurt in the process. Yeah. Or if she's determined to go kill this guy, look, she's gonna tell you that guy's gonna go die. I'm gonna be the one that does it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point. Yeah, she's not trying to mask anything. She's not trying to be confusing.
Yeah. And she'll lie, but I mean that's not the kind of honesty.
Yeah, that's survival.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good one. All right, Jonathan. Daniel.
Number one. Sound effects. Number one.
I know. I'm working on that. I'm trying to find if anybody listens and is good at sound effects, and you guys want to donate sound effects to this, we will use them if everybody likes them.
Also,
and shout out.
This is something we could mention beforehand, but we could talk about another time. But this is probably a good time for honorable mentions if anybody had any. If you want to pepper them in right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do that in case somebody's number one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Number one. Number one.
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Has to be somebody's number one. It's a good choice.
I had to put him. He's the main character. I loved him right when I started watching the show. Yeah. Pretty much I watched the show because of him. Just the way he acts. He, like everybody already said, he is the leader, but he's not really a good leader. But there's nobody in the show that wants to take that lead in the group. Nobody wants to weigh themselves down.
Overall, there's probably nobody better at it, too.
Yeah, like, he did go crazy, but it's just like, his wife died. Now his son died. Now he has to watch out for his daughter. All his, like, other family members in the group keep dying.
And now he has to keep Negan alive, too, dude. That's going to be so hard for his wife.
So it's just like, it's just so much to deal with. So you could kind of see, like, he didn't have that switch, which he should, but he's still doing it. He still has to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
I just don't see anybody wanting to take that role.
Yeah. Or even capable of it, to the degree that he can do it.
Yeah.
They obviously naturally look to him.
Yeah, they all. And, I had to put him number one because I said that show needs Rick.
Yeah, even like that moment, there's a good point I forgot about where he comes into Alexandria and he tells, I can't remember her name, but the one who runs Alexandria, who should have been played by Catherine Janeway.
Yes. Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew, like a little rebellion against him.
Kate, if you ever want to come in and talk with us,
oh my God, Kate Mulgrew! If you want to join the show, you will take over Squeak's spot. We'll replace Squeak's right now for you, so fast.
Place Joe's spot.
Oh, the vacant spot.
The vacant spot. We'll kick out Squeak. You will be the top 5.
Yeah.
I'll just listen to your show. Anyway, but yeah, that scene where he comes in and just like gut checks her. That's good stuff. Yeah. All right, my number one and the true number one, who needs his own show. King Ezekiel, played by shut the hell up right now. Played by Carrie.
Cool, he's a zookeeper. That's our show, guys.
Oh my God, the rise of the kingdom. That'd be amazing. So he leads the kingdom. He has a pet tiger named Shiva. Which the next time I get a pet tiger, I am naming her Shiva. That's such a good name for a pet tiger. He's one of the co-leaders of the militia that's against Negan, alongside Rick, Maggie, and Cindy. He uses his background in theater because as a kid he was a theater kid. He uses that background to look grandiose. He was acting grandiose and everything like that when they were all getting together, and they kind of promoted him to be the leader, and then he just called himself king. And he had a pet tiger that helps. No. He became a zookeeper, and then when Shiva got like her leg hurt or whatever, he jumped in and saved her. So that's why Shiva's like down with him. And then he rarely breaks character. It's one of my favorite scenes is that whenever he breaks character with Carol or with Jerry, both of them are on my list. And I like when he comes over and does like a little like how you doing, Carol, to their house. You know, I always love when they do those scenes. But those are my favorite scenes, or when he's just talking with Carol and kind of breaks character, and then you see him come back to like his grand speeches. Have you ever looked when they're going around the kingdom or whatever? You ever look on the walls where they have like quotes of his painted on the wall, like you would see like biblical quotes. Mm-mm. Look at them; they're quotes of his, King Ezekiel, at the end of them and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck. That's
and I just love that he's using his background in theater to make himself grand, and it's what the after the side effect of doing that is he makes himself to look like a leader and he becomes a leader. But in doing so, he makes it to where his people have hope. But before that, he uses this grand persona to put a mask on himself because he's just a dude trying to survive in the apocalypse. So he's like, look, I'm just going to put this mask on myself because he's an actor. He knows what that's like to have that mask take the dings, not him as a person. And then you see that mask break when he leads a mission. They all have missions to go lead. And he leads one of them. And there's some gunners up in a barn. They like mow down a lot of his men. He comes back. He is shattered. That mask is shattered. He's locked up in the room. Jerry, my boy, number 3 or 4, whatever one. He comes in and says, you got to come out. You got to. He kind of like coaxes him out. Carol does a little bit of that too, and he takes on the reins again and to sacrifice himself to Negan because Negan wanted to make an example of him. Sacrifices himself to Negan so his men can run away. So it's almost like in acting like this Grand King, he has become the Grand King.
Yeah.
And I would love a standalone show that shows the rise, which the CGI budget might be a little too high because of the tiger, but the rise of King Ezekiel. I think that'd be so cool.
No, it would be.
Him because they have this agreement with Negan, so it would be a lot more of Negan's battle with him, and like it'd be a lot more political drama. We might see. I'm not saying Game of Thrones because of a king, but it might have been that aspect of like we have to and then eventually just this unsettling peace truce that he had with him, and he was poisoning. He was in the comic books. I know we're only doing a TV show, but in the comic books, he actually was very, very pro. Let's get Negan out. But in the show, they're poisoning them with their pigs because they're donating pigs all the time. They're having the pigs eat dead bodies. They're having them eat zombies. So they're slowly poisoning the Foundry. It's freaking cool. It's the only like rebellion we see against Negan up until that point. So I really want to see a standalone Ezekiel. He's also him and Jerry. I'm cool with them riding off into the sunset. They're so awesome. Carol too, of course. Just those 3.
Yeah.
Everybody else off them. I want those 3 riding off into the sunset. They're pretty great. So I know he's not long for this world, which is unfortunate, but he's pretty great. All right, go for it, Squeaksy, number 1.
Right, so my number 1 is Daryl.
Daryl.
The only reason, true ride or die. He's always stuck with the plans, no matter what the consequences are, how crazy they are, and his relationship with Rick shows it. When Rick was captured in the biker gang, he was trying to make that leader let him go.
Yeah.
And then he also offered himself up for sacrifice to have Rick and Michonne leave or to be let go.
Yeah.
He has he's that hard shell like Michonne on the front, but on the side he's like a golden heart. He takes care of Judith. He's like the only, besides Rick, the like middle figure for Judith. Like make sure she's fed.
What's he called? Judith?
Little badass.
Is it Kick-Ass?
I think it's badass, isn't it?
Ass Kicker?
Maybe Ass Kicker.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Little shit.
His fight scenes, he's crazy. Besides the crossbow, he has this one scene where he takes a chain and he kind of like swings it and whips it at 3 zombies. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. That does sound
There's
awesome.
like 3 zombies that are lined up and he whips the chain.
It is kind of like Ghost
come off.
Like
Yeah. The big one though, I feel like when you guys were talking about leaders, he's the only one that's always kept us cool no matter what. I feel like, and he's not. Yeah. He's never scared. When he was captured by Negan and he was out and he was like breaking out, but then they surrounded him. He just kept like quiet and still.
Do you think he'd be a good leader though? You think that'd make him a good leader?
I think so, only because he does. You never see him lose it. I mean, and when he does lose it, it's because he's passionate about something. And he knows he won't. Okay, so there's parts where he doesn't tell everyone his idea, but his idea is always just for the greater good anyway, and he just does it. He doesn't.
I think he's the best executioner. I think he's the best right-hand man. Yeah. Fiery angel kind of guy. But I don't know, leader.
There's no. I know you don't see a lot of emotion from him, but maybe sometimes that emotion holds people back.
Some of the best emotion you see from him personally is the scenes with Beth or Bethany, and where they go to that cabin and you start to learn more about his abusive life with his dad.
Yeah.
That was really touching and added a ton of depth to that character. Mm-hmm. And it'd be nice to see a little bit more of that. And I think we will. He's going to be the new main character after season 9, so I think we'll see more of that. But that was really cool. All right, John, what do we got for number 1?
All right, my number 1 is Michonne.
All right, nice.
She's a really good character, but after going through all our top 5s, I realized too that she does have kind of a shallow surface. Well, I don't know. She just doesn't have as much depth as some of the other characters. Yeah. But she's a badass. Just the fact that she started the zombie apocalypse with no skills and learned and taught herself how to use the katana, and now it's ammo-free weapon.
Perfect weapon for this situation.
Ideal. And, I mean, you fucking lob heads off all day long.
Yeah.
She knows how to sharpen it. She sharpens it herself regularly. You see her do it. And, yeah, she's just so good with it. It doesn't have to use a gun that makes a ton of noise and draws a ton more walkers. Like, she's just a good, strong character. She's quiet, which, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that kind of supports her being a strong, confident, I don't know, like a strong character, that she's silent like that. Not like some of these other people that just keep rambling or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like me. But but no, she's just, I like her. She's a really cool character.
Yeah.
Especially that she's a badass with a katana.
She's a fan favorite, and I think, yeah, you're right, katana's a great choice. I'm not sure if she didn't know how to use it from beforehand. The way she knows how to sharpen it, you almost think like she had some sort of training or something like that.
I want to say, I can't remember. I should have done more research on her. I was just like, oh yeah, she's a shoe. She'll be my number one.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, maybe it was in the comic books. Maybe it wasn't even in the show. I can't remember. But yeah, she taught herself how to use it.
Okay.
Not in preparation, but when this all went down. But yeah, I can't remember exactly where that was at. But she was also, she was one of the few that knew that putting zombie guts on you deters them because they're based on scent or whatever.
That's pretty awesome.
She was the only one we've ever seen use walkers as like pets or whatever, keep them around her too.
And she took off like their jaw and their arms.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And keeps other walkers away and keeps other people away. And so she's a badass character, but like you're saying too, you said earlier, later in the seasons, we're starting to see her kind of open up, peel back some of those layers, and be a softer character on the inside. Now that she's found people she can trust, and they have proven over these years, as some of the friends that have died and everything, they've proven that she can really rely on them too. So now she's opening up and showing her softer side and whatnot. But
yeah,
good
it's
character.
good to see them add more to her.
Yeah,
I definitely want her to survive the massive Rick apocalypse that's coming up.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about leaders, I don't know if she'd be a good leader. I think she would, like you guys have been mentioning, a good executioner. I don't know if Carl would, like if Daryl was to lead, if she would follow him very well or not. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see her try to lead, but she'd have to be more diplomatic, more vocal. I mean, she's super quiet. She doesn't try to get involved. She just, like an executioner, she stands there and does what
Maybe she should stay that way. I'm thinking full on embrace the Wakanda thing. Like, she's in Black Panther. She's so awesome in that. But, she's just like, protect my king. If she's protect the leader, then I would be fully down with that. Yeah. And so that'd be pretty good. All right. Anything else on the show?
No, that was it.
All right, what do you got for your number one?
I already did.
You already did your number one.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Forgot we started with Daniel this time. All right, so that was it, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. Please make sure you subscribe. And if you can, rate us on iTunes. It helps us out a lot. Get the numbers up there. 5 stars if possible. And if not, then just tell me why you're not 5 stars so that we can fix the show. We're working on the audio stuff, and we're getting there slowly. Also, any topics you guys might have, just your best bet to tweet it to us. We're trying to get more active on Twitter. If you guys want some nerd news, I'm going to be dropping that stuff all the time on Twitter. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for listening to the Top 5. We would love to hear on how we can improve the show and any suggestions on future topics. You can find us on our website at thetop5podcast.com. Email us at thetop5podcast@gmail.com. We are also on Twitter at thetop5cast, and we are on Facebook as Top5 Frank. Lastly, we are on Patreon under the Top 5 Podcast. Thank you again for joining us.